You know, when a teen actress rises as quickly as this one did, it makes her wonder why she never pursued a career quicker than what she had. Now, when I mean quicker, I mean it could have been a slow burn towards international success, but unfortunately she decided to not say quit the business, but to get away from her schedule. She concentrated on her children, she concentrated on her husband. She wasn't part of the Hollywood rat race that her family was into for quite some time. And a lot of people believe she is the lost superstar of the 1980s. When people talk about the decade, you have to talk about Phoebe Cates. Now, Cates, born July 16, 1963 in New York City, was born Phoebe Bella Cates. The actress was active between 82 and 94, 2001 and 2015. Her famous husband, of course, is Kevin Kline, and they have 2 children, including the great up-and-coming performer Greta Kline. Now, she was born to a family of television and Broadway production insiders. She's the daughter of Lily and Joseph Cates, originally who was called Joseph Katz, who was a major Broadway producer and a pioneering figure in television, and who helped create the 64,000 question. Now, her uncle, the great Jill Cates, or Gilbert Cates, produced numerous television specials, often in partnership with Cates' father, as well as several annual Academy Award shows. Both her father and maternal grandmother were of Russian Jewish descent, whereas her maternal grandfather was Chinese-Filipino. Cates' mother was born in Shanghai. Now, Cates attended a professional children's school and a Juilliard school. At the age of 10, she started modeling, appearing in 17 and other teen-oriented magazines, and also was pursuing a musical career. A few years later, she wanted to become a dancer. Eventually received a scholarship to the School of American Ballet, but quit after a knee injury at age 14. Next, she began a short, successful career again as a model. Cates said at the time that she disliked the industry. It was just the same thing over and over. After a while, I did it solely for the money. Now, dissatisfied with modeling, she decided to pursue acting. She was offered her first part in the movie Paradise, still controversial some 40 years later, after a screen test in New York. She was uncertain about doing the nudity the role required, but her father encouraged her to take the job. Now, this was a knockoff of the Blue Lagoon style. Now, Paradise again became Cates' film debut. It was filmed in Israel from March to May of 1981. In the film, she performed several full frontal nude scenes while still a minor. She was age 17. Again, the movie's plot was similar to the Blue Lagoon. She also sang the film's main theme song and recorded the album of the same name. In a 1982 interview, she recalled having trouble with the change of career because as a model she had to be conscious of the camera, whereas in front of the movie camera she could not. Cates later regretted being in the film. When I learned, I knew I was never to do a movie like that again. Cates claimed that the film's producers used a body double to film nude close-ups of her character without telling her. According to her co-star Willie Ames, she will have nothing to do with the film. She's really upset about it. She won't do any promotion with me. Later that year, Cates starred in the classic film Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which featured what Rolling Stone has described the most memorable bikini drop in cinema history. She was quoted as saying that she had the most fun in filming that movie. The role eventually led her to appearing on the covers of teen magazines such as 17, Tiger Beat, Teen Beat, and others. Now, the following year, Cates was in the comedy private school for girls, which starred Matthew Modine and Betsy Russell, and for which she sang on 2 songs in the film soundtrack, Just One Touch and How Do I Let You Know. So she was getting typecast in these kind of, not say ingenue, but young, pretty, tall, dark-haired girls that were probably, let's say, not say untouchable, but had a mind of their own. Now, in 1984, she starred in the TV miniseries Lace, based on a novel which Shirley Conrad had written. She played the role of Lily to get away from the sameness in her movie portrayals. During audition, she so impressed the writer that he wanted to hire her there and then. Cates struggled with the portrayal of a bitter movie star because, despite her character's vicious persona, she tended for the audience to sympathize with her. She did not read Conrad's novel in which the movie was based because she did not want to have a fixed image. Her best-known line of film, "Which One of the Bitches is My Mother," was named the greatest line in TV history by TV Guide in 1993. Obviously, better lines have come up since then. She also starred in the sequel miniseries Lace 2. Now, in the summer of '84, her next big role on the big screen, she co-starred in the box office hit Gremlins for executive producer Steven Spielberg, and it was the highest-grossing film of her career. 6 years later, she would reprise her character Kate Berenger in the sequel Gremlins 2, The New Batch, which is a cult classic for many. Now, in June '84, Cates made her stage debut in the off-Broadway play The Nest of the Wood Grouse, a comedy by Soviet writer Viktor Rozov at the Joseph Path Public Theater. Cates said that while doing the play, she felt a certain freedom and a certain connection with acting that I had never really felt before. She appeared off-Broadway again 2 years later in Rich Relations, written by David Henry Wang at the Second Stage Theater. In December of '89, Cates made her Broadway debut in a revival of Paddy Chayefsky's The Tenth Man at the Vivian Beaumont Theater. In '88, Cates told an interviewer there are simply not that many good parts in film, but theater has tons of good women's roles. I think of theater as what I like to do most. I've only felt happy as an actress for about 2 years. I rarely watch my film work. Cates continued to appear steadily in films through the early 1990s, usually in supporting roles as part of ensemble casts. These include Date with an Angel, 1987, Bright Lights, Big City, '88 with Michael J. Fox, Heart of Dixie in '89, Shag in '89, Drop Dead Fred, and Bodies Rest in Motion, '93. The later three also featured a strong co-star in Brigitte Fonda. These films suffered from mixed to poor reviews and failed to make an impact at the box office. Now, Cates had been set to play Steve Martin's daughter in the successful comedy Father and the Bride, but her pregnancy with her first child forced her to drop out. She had married Kevin Kline by this point. Now, in '94, Cates starred in the fact-based comedy drama Princess Caribou, which also featured her husband Kevin Kline. This was the last film Cates appeared in before seemingly shifting her focus away from acting to raising her children, Owen and Greta. Now, in 2001, Cates briefly returned to acting for one film, The Anniversary Party, as a favor to her best friend and former Fast Time at Richmond High castmate Jennifer Jason Leigh, who directed the film. Now, in 2015, Cates provided the voice of her Gremlins character Kate Berenger for the video game Lego Dimensions. Now, in the early 1980s, Kate shared an apartment in Greenwich Village with her then-boyfriend Stavros Merzos. She met him in '79 after she went to her first night at Studio 54 with family friend Andy Warhol. Now, in '83, during audition for a role, which was awarded to Big Tilly in The Big Chill, Cates met actor Kevin Kline. They were both dating other people at the time, but became romantically involved 2 years later. In '89, they married, and she changed her name to Phoebe Cates Kline. Now, the Klines moved to the Upper Side of Manhattan, in New York, across Fifth Avenue from Central Park, where they raised their two children. Son Owen Joseph Kline, born 1991, and daughter Greta Kline, born '94. Owen and Greta appeared with her parents in the 2001 movie The Anniversary Party. Owen also appeared in the 2000 film The Squid and the Whale, and Greta fronts the band Frankie Cosmos. Now, in 2005, Cates opened a boutique, Blue Tree, on Madison Avenue in New York. Now, the urban legend, she quit Hollywood, but I think it's like anything else. She decided to concentrate on another part of her life, which was her family and her children. People don't talk about this too, but the movie Baby Sister with Annie Burroughs, that was an interesting part as well, because she was offered various TV projects at the time, or I think she read for some of them. To my knowledge, that's the only one I remember her bidding in. And of all people, Ted Wass was her co-star in this one. Now, this movie was a made-for-television drama. Centers on a 19-year-old girl who starts an affair with her older sister boyfriend, and premiered on ABC March 6, 1983. This co-starred also the great Pamela Bellwood. Now, to my knowledge, this is her big TV break. Other co-stars included Ephraim Zimmerlis Jr. and Jill Jacobson. Now, the name of the movie had to be changed, and this is why I'm bringing up. It was originally called Tainted Love, so you can imagine the problem with that when it had the same name as the award-winning song. But Phoebe Cates, luminous in those movies, and I hope you take it the right way. I've seen her naked, and I'm not big on these type of comedies, but she had a presence to her, and I think being a little bit of Russian blood, a little bit of Chinese blood, Filipino, She was a very internationally looking person, very intelligent. You could tell there was a mind behind the whole thing. The only contemporary that I can show for her body type of those people would be Brooke Shields, but she was a much better actress than Brooke Shields. But I think the bad experiences that she had in her early movies, and she did not say Fast Times was a sex comedy like Private School was, but not say she was typecast, but you know, after age 25, 26, it's like, you know, does she stay on Broadway? Should she get bigger parts? But I don't remember any producer after she quit Hollywood said, you know, it's a big loss, because again, she was doing parts that she wanted to do. She was happily married. Kevin Kline, from what I heard, is a great gentleman. But Phoebe Cates, for that 4-year era between 82 and about 86, leading up to the second Gremlins, I mean, she was a household name. And Phoebe Cates, again, a lot of young girls were named Phoebe back then. But a lot of people kind of thought with Lace she was a little bit over the top. I saw the series and I tend to agree. But the Fast Times of Ridgemont High, that very strong high school feminist. I know it sounds kind of weird, but the character that, you know, mentors Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, she's resilient and strong. Like, she's not scared to fight through the, you know, the macho bullshit. And, you know, don't forget that scene in with Judge Reinhold. That was a fantasy scene by Judge Reinhold. If you look at the whole scene, she's not sexualized in the real scene. She's sexualized in a fantasy scene, which shows you the negativity of the Judge Reinhold character. But like I said, we all remember she was naked. I don't have to go into it. A lot of childhood fantasies amongst people, but she's more than just one scene in one movie. She's a terrific actress. I appreciate her work. I liked her work in Gremlins, especially when she gives a soliloquy how her father died on Christmas Day or near Christmas. I'm not going to give it away, but it's a big part of the movie. And that's something I would like to see her do, like a North and South, or like a what they call a timely miniseries, like from the 1900s or whatever. She would be tremendous. Elizabeth Perkins comes to mind as well. She had a kind of that style of acting. So Phoebe Cates, as an actress, for what she did, for the chances she were given, 5 stars out of 5. Again, but if she's happy, I'm happy for her, because not everybody can make Hollywood their full-time profession. Sometimes people step back. They go into, I've seen Hollywood actors become firemen, policemen, security. You know, they've had the highest of highs, and, you know. But I was wondering, the only thing I wonder, who gets the residuals from those movies? Does she still get residuals? Because that's almost 40 years ago of her key movies. By the way, you can see a lot of Phoebe Cates' movies on Hollywood Suite in Canada, our main vintage movie channels. Good to check out. And if you haven't seen Gremlins, watch it over Halloween. You'll enjoy it. Have a good day. Bye.